All right, back on the Young Turks. You know, we do a wide variety of guests on this program. Earlier in the program, we had Bruce Bartlett on. He was one of the top economic advisors to President Ronald Reagan. And, we're going to stay on the theme of presidents because we're going to talk to Daniel Grozdich, who's written the book, A Douche Nozzle for a President. Danny, how are you, man?
Very good.
Okay. Danny has a YouTube site as well, channel. It's called Gradual Report as well. So first, before we get to the book, what's the YouTube channel all about?
Well, I noticed that people on the internet especially tend to rush into like post the next Britney Spears, the next whatever they can. Like as soon as something like the Tiger Woods, for example, as soon as that broke, there was like everyone just publishing like all kinds of stuff. What I try to do is take like a good day and a half and digest it, or maybe a month, or maybe two, or maybe I'll never. I haven't actually done a Tiger Woods video yet, but I try to like breaking news, Chernobyl's melting, you know, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Right. So it's like a slow, gradual easing into the, you know, a thinking man's comedy, if you will.
I see, and that's why it's the Gradual Report.
Exactly.
You gradually get to it.
Exactly. Gradually report.
I figured it out.
Yeah.
See that quick like that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. That's because I went to law school, as apparently you did.
Yep. I have a Juris Doctorate as well.
So you go to law school, you come out, and you start a YouTube channel. How did your parents take that?
You know, not thrilled. Not thrilled. They actually slowly started the process of kicking me out of the house. It was not gradual.
Well, I was going to say, is it gradual? Because if they're still doing it, it's been taking them a while, so it's not that bad.
Well, they were just kind of like, you need to move out. Fortunately, they live in Malibu, so I went to my neighbor and I was like, hey, how about I stay in your guest house rent-free? And they were like, that's cool. So I'm all right. I'll get by, Jen.
Wow, that's a good turn over there. Yeah. That's not so bad. All right, so did you do anything between law school and YouTube? Or?
Yeah, I did some copper mining.
No.
Seriously. I actually worked at a firm that recycles copper. They pull old telephone cables out of the ground and chop them up and send them to China. I was the yard manager.
That's crazy. How'd you get that job?
I was working as a day laborer because the parent. I know. The parents are like, nah, you want to be a comedian? Why don't you go be funny? You know. And so I'm like, okay, let's go see what I'm qualified. And it was either that, and I wanted to have a job that wouldn't drain me because like I could get a job with my law degree but every day I'd come home and either take my own life or just be drained, you know, just get home and be the beaten pig. So I wanted a job that was more physically demanding and less intellectually demanding. So I applied for just, you know, random silliness, and I got this random silly job that paid.
That's funny because I used to tell my friends when I was a lawyer, and I was a lawyer very briefly for about 9 months or so, when you put it all together, that I would rather like shovel shit than be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, because you're right. I mean, it takes up a tremendous amount of time. And it's, you know, having read that stuff, it kills you inside.
It does.
If you're not into it, you know, and obviously you're not into it.
I worked for 9 days at a law firm, family law, and the guy was negotiating a settlement for a birthday for a 2-year-old, and it was like a really big deal. They were trying to get the San Diego Zoo into this guy's house, and he needed like $15 million for this 2-year-old's birthday party. And there was going to be like 6,000 guests, and I was part of the team that would have to like justify that expense, and I was just like, I can't do this. Who are you people? This is crazy.
No, I know. I had the same thing. I mean, it took you a little less, 9 days as opposed to 9 months. Yeah. With many cases, but one of them was like Adrian Dantley, old-time basketball player, and some guy had robbed his money, and we were supposed to defend him. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to do this. Okay, yeah. I mean. This is like, it kills your soul.
Yeah, I have friends that are district attorneys. They work for the Department of Justice. They're like, I have this one friend, Brian, who made like $1.5 million doing mortgage restructuring last month. He's like, dude, anytime you want to. I was like, no, that's cool. I'll keep my sanity.
Right. No, and look, don't get me wrong. I got a lot of friends who are lawyers. Some of my best friends are lawyers. And they're good guys, and, you know, they found whatever is right for them. One of them does intellectual property for Starbucks, has a great time doing it, la, la, la. It's just, it depends on what you're, into, and obviously you weren't into that. No. So then you're digging ditches. Right. And then how did it occur to you to start the YouTube channel?
Well, I went on the internets, and I came across Zay Frank. I don't know if you come across any of his work. It's just brilliant, right? I was just inspired. I was like, wow, that's awesome. I want to do something of that caliber, something of that quality. So then I went to YouTube, and I just saw a giant void. Like there was no one there really bringing their A game. It was just a bunch of like ratty kids, blowing snot bubbles at each other, through straws or some silliness. And so I was just like, dude, that's like I could do that. I could do better than them, And so that's what I did. I had 50 videos up before I had finished 50 subscribers. And now I'm at over 300 videos. I think it was like 84,888 subscribers last time I checked, which was today.
That's fantastic. Was there a moment that it took off for you?
Yeah, I paid a bigger YouTuber to mention me on his show.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Can I ask who that was?
You can.
It's okay. You seem a little reluctant.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like free press, I contact him now. I'm just like, hey, dude, because he's now he's like, 800,000 subscribers. So he's like, he's one of the bigger dudes. And I was just like, dude, how about another mention? And he's like, no.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I like that. He's thinking, though. You see that? Putting some thought behind it.
Yeah, they don't.
That's initiative. I like that. All right.
They don't like you.
So, all right. So let's talk about the book real quick.
Let's.
So what's a douche nozzle for a president?
A douche nozzle for president was actually, it started out as a, what can I sell to the kids to make money, right? What will they buy, right? And I thought, douche nozzles, of course.
Obviously.
Naturally. Logical thinking, right? And what it is basically the douche nozzle. My first YouTube video was about George Bush's, it's like an analogy between the United States and a douchebag, right? Where the president is the douche nozzle because the douche nozzle points to where all the douche goes, right? And we, the people, are the douche gasket because we allow the douche liquid, which would be the army or the military, to travel through the gasket. So in our process of voting, so I made up this whole elaborate scheme, and I thought it was brilliant. So I told the kids on my channel, I go, hey, you guys buy a douche nozzle for $4, and I will go to the United States of America's capital, the Washington, and I will try to give it to the President of the United States. And what ended up happening was I took this is me on the subway with my giant, I glued it, I think it was like 400 douche nozzles together into a giant like crown, and with like purple glitter, hot glue gun. It was silly. And I took like several pictures of it, right?
Uh-huh.
And then it just came together in a story. I made like a little story about how it all ended up transpiring. I think at the last page it says here
You want to give away the surprise ending of the book?
all right, I guess I won't. I guess I'll not do that.
Okay, no, but look, did you wind up delivering it to Bush?
You know what? I got as far as the security guard at the gate, and they listened to me. They were very polite. I walked up to the White House, and this cop comes up to me as I'm approaching. He goes, "Whatever you do, don't put that down and walk away, because we will shoot you." Like that, there's no, and it was like a real, because at one point you're sitting in your room and you're like, I'm going to go deliver douche nozzles to the president, buy the plane ticket and do the whole thing, right? And when you get there and you're standing in front of the White House, you're just like, wow, this is really going to happen. I'm really going to do this. And then you're walking up, the cops are starting to come towards you. You got this giant like monstrosity with bags, and there's homeless people, right? As I'm getting off the subway, the homeless people are yelling, like, I know what that is, and I'm just like, ah. So anyway, I get to the gate, and I explain the whole analogy, and the guy just looked at me and goes like, that's not appropriate. You can't. We're not going to let you in.
So did you wind up having to take it back home?
No, actually, he told me that the way to give it to the president was through the mail. So I went to a post office, smushed it all into a box, and mailed it to him.
That's awesome. Who knows? Maybe it's in Crawford. Now, I was going to say Crawford, but actually, he doesn't live in Crawford. That was a bullshit ranch, of course. And he immediately got rid of it, or is not living there when he got out of office. So maybe Laura's got it tucked away in a closet in Dallas now.
You know what? They'll never have to purchase a douche nozzle. I know that much.
Yeah, Laura, hey, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
There's 400 free ones.
Yeah.
All right, and where can people buy the book?
They can't.
Okay, well,
it doesn't exist in the world. No, the book was, it was a silly book. I actually sold 2 copies of it because I had 3 of them made.
So that's the last one in existence?
This is the last one, unless I do a reprinting. Now, if there's any interest in the book, and people email me at gradualreport.com, gradualreport at Gmail. I think it is gradualreport@gmail.com. Yeah, if you guys are interested in buying the book, because I mean it's cool. You know, it's 20 pages and it's silly, but there wasn't like
How much did you sell the other two for?
One went for on eBay for $150.
Oh, that's not bad.
Autographed, yeah. It covered the cost of the printing. And the other one went for $80, but I never received the $80. I just sent the book without it.
Oh, see. I thought you were a savvy business guy. What happened there? You got taken.
This girl emails me like, I really want your book.
Always a girl.
And I was like, yeah, okay. So I sent it to her, and she's like, yeah, I sent you the money. And I was like, it never came. And she's like, oh, well, it was my birthday money, and it was cash. And I was just like, all right, whatever.
Well, that happens sometimes. I mean, first of all, I don't believe her. But second of all, if I believed her, if she sent $80 in cash, that's why I never made it.
Yeah.
Note to self, don't send cash in the mail.
If there is any interest, I could print. See, the thing is, you have to like pre-print and pre-buy, and I'm like broke, right?
Yeah, I got that sense.
Yeah,
I got that sense.
So I'm not about to go drop like $3,000 on like, you know, 40,000, you know.
No, I know. Yeah. Are you still digging ditches or no?
No, no. I actually, I ran into some, my parents took me back.
Okay,
you know, that was like a year and a half of hell, but they took me back and they were like, you know, this isn't working out, but it's what you like, and you know that, you know, I'm their kid, you know, what are they going to do?
What are they going to do?
Right. So they you know, so I'm not digging dishes, you know.
All right, so we're going to hang out in Malibu then. Okay, we're coming over
Bring
to
it.
your place.
Bring it. We'll have a Boxing Day party.
Okay, final question for you. I usually ask this, so I'll ask you as well. Has YouTube ever gotten you laid?
Yes and no.
Okay. Okay, all right. Hit me with a yes. The no is obvious.
Yeah. The yes is like they recognize you and they immediately assume they know who you are and whatnot. So it's like the automatic opener. So I mean, like, you know. And
so where do you get recognized? Like at a bar or something?
No, at a strip club.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Vegas.
Was one like girl giving you a lap dance?
One of the strippers recognized me.
And she's like, "Oh, you're the Douche Nozzle guy?"
No. I did this video called How to Kiss. And she saw that. It had like 300,000 views. And I thought it was one of my friends just being like, oh yeah, tell him he's famous on the internet and you're right. So I was just like, yeah, sure you do. So she actually told me like a bunch of my videos and I was like, whoa, you actually are my.
Oh, that's awesome.
Whatever, yeah. So
did you gradually get laid from that?
I did.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah,
from a stripper, no less.
Yeah,
look at this.
Yeah.
YouTube success story.
I'm dirty.
Okay.
I have diseases now. It's sick.
Yeah, no. Strippers are great. Don't worry about it.
I'm ashamed of myself.
Totally fine. Okay. Hey, that's more than me, so God bless. I like it. All right, Danny Grozdich, everybody check out youtube.com/gradualreport or just gradualreport.com. Thanks for being on the show, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
for having me.
We'll be right back.